Welcome dear students. Let's start our chapter Microorganisms, Friends and Foes. In this part we are going to see the uses of microorganisms in the field of medicines. That is, we'll see the production of insulin, their role in the production of antibiotics and in the production of vaccines. We'll also learn about the bacteria which are present in human body and how they are useful to us. Insulin is a hormone which is produced by the pancreas in healthy people. It plays an important role in the regulation of blood sugar level. It allows our body to use sugar from the food, or it also helps in the storage of glucose for future use. It helps to keep the blood sugar level from getting too high or from getting too low. It maintains its average level. But in those people who suffer from diabetes, where the blood sugar level is increased or decreased, in such conditions they need synthetic insulin. And this synthetic insulin is produced by or with the help of certain types of bacteria, especially E. coli bacteria, and they are used to produce this synthetic insulin, and thus it controls the blood sugar level in such diabetic patients. When you suffer from a bacterial infection, what does the doctor prescribe? The doctor prescribes you with an antibiotic. But do you know what these antibiotics are? Antibiotics are substances which are produced by microorganisms that kill or inhibit the growth of other microorganisms. An antibiotic is a substance which kills microorganisms or stops their growth. They can kill disease-causing microorganisms without severe side effects like injury to body tissues or disturbance of body functions. And nowadays over 100 different antibiotics are available to doctors to cure anything from minor illness to life-threatening infections. And each antibiotic works differently and acts on different types of bacteria. But do you know when was the first life-saving antibiotic produced? When was it synthesized and what was that? Are you aware of its name? The first life-saving antibiotic was penicillin. It was penicillin, and it was obtained from a fungus whose name was penicillium. Penicillium, and it was obtained or synthesized in 1928 by Alexander Fleming. It saved the lives of millions of people with bacterial infection, and after that a large number of antibiotics were produced, but amoxicillin, tetracycline, erythromycin, these are some of the common antibiotics which are obtained from fungi to destroy disease-causing microbes. They are also used to control the bacterial diseases in plants and in animals. Antibiotics can be used in case of bacterial infections in plants as well as in animals. They are mixed with the food and they are used to cure the microbial infections in poultry and in cattle. But there are certain precautions which should be followed with the use of antibiotics. These antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of a certified doctor. We should complete the course prescribed by the doctor. We should not leave it in between. Antibiotics should be taken in correct doses as is specified by your doctor. And taking antibiotics in incorrect doses may make them less effective. And we should avoid taking antibiotics when not needed. Unnecessarily taking antibiotics may kill the beneficial bacteria which are present in our body. Children up to the age of 10 years are given vaccines to protect them from many diseases like measles, mumps, tuberculosis, diphtheria, polio, tetanus, hepatitis B. These are some of the diseases against which vaccines are available. You all must have gone through this vaccination process, and you can ask your mother to show you your vaccination card where you can see the names of the diseases and the date mentioned on which date you have got that particular vaccine. But before starting the explanation about vaccines, what is vaccine, what is the process of vaccination, what is the secret behind this vaccination, we must understand a few terms. The first one is antigen. What is antigen? Antigen is a foreign substance. Now this foreign substance can be a disease-causing microbe also, which enters our body, and this is called antigen. Then antibodies. Antibodies. What are antibodies? These are the proteins which are produced by our body, and what they do, they attack and destroy the antigens. And one more term is there, that is immunity. You must have heard this term many a times, immunity. So what is immunity? Immunity is the ability of our body to resist infection. To resist infection or to fight against any particular infection. This is called as immunity. Now what happens is, our human body has a wonderful mechanism. It has a mechanism of protecting itself from the dangers of these microorganisms. The moment the body is attacked by microbes, our immune system starts producing substances which are antibodies. These antibodies help in fighting with the invading microbes, means they fight against the antigens. And once the antibodies are formed, they remain in the body either permanently or for a short duration. And if the body gets invaded by the same microbe again, if the same microbe again attacks on the body, then these antibodies which are already present in our body recognize them and then kill them. You can understand it in a better way. Just imagine that at the border of our country, our army is present and they are well prepared for any attack of our enemy. So whenever the enemy attacks our country, they are already prepared, they recognize them and then fight against them and protect us. So the same is the condition of vaccines also. These antibodies are the army of our body. They are present in our body to protect us from the enemy, and the enemy is this antigen. This is the foreign substance. This is the enemy, and the army is the antibodies. So these antibodies protect us from the danger of these antigens, these foreign substances, or these disease-causing microorganisms. So this is the basis of the development of vaccines. Because of the ability of our body to develop antibodies, the vaccines are prepared. Now what is a vaccine? A vaccine is a suspension of weakened or dead disease-causing microbes that is administered to prevent a disease. Now, these vaccines can be a dose of dead microbes. They can be the dead form of microorganisms, and these are induced in our body because they act as antigen, and against them our body prepares antibodies. It prepares the proteins which are antibodies which fight against them, so that whenever the microbe of this particular disease attacks our body, the antibodies which are already present in our body will protect us from getting infected by that particular microbe. And these dead microbes, the example for vaccines which include dead microbes, as in the case of cholera and typhoid. Cholera and typhoid. Then these vaccines can be live microbes also. They can be live microbes also, but these live microbes have been altered so that they are no longer dangerous and they cannot cause disease. For example, in case of polio and measles. Then these vaccines can be toxoids also. Toxoids means these can be harmless forms of toxins. Toxins are poisonous substances. So these can be the harmless forms of toxins which are obtained by, or these are produced by, the disease-causing germs. Instead of preparing the vaccine from the microbes directly, the toxins from these microbes are obtained and these are made harmless and then induced in our body, as in the case of tetanus vaccine. But the thing which is common is that all the vaccines are made, or all the vaccines are prepared from microorganisms. Whether their dead forms are induced, whether the live microbes which have been altered, they are induced, or whether the toxins which are obtained from these microbes are induced, but in all the vaccines, microbes are used. These microorganisms are used. We have seen that what is immunity, the ability of our body to resist infection, is called as immunity. Now this immunity against some diseases may be natural, that is inherited from our parents. But immunity against some disease is acquired after recovering from an attack of the disease also. If you have been suffered from a particular disease, then also your body has developed the antibodies against that particular microbe or that particular antigen. As in the case of measles and chickenpox, once you have recovered from these diseases, the antibodies remain in the blood for a short time. However, the ability to produce the antibodies again is greatly increased. Therefore, any further infection by the bacterium or the virus is likely to be stopped, and when you are immune to the disease. So you have become immune after you have acquired a particular disease. The third category is immunity against a particular disease can also be induced in the body by introducing dead or weakened microbes of the disease. And here comes the concept of vaccine. So this dead or weakened microbe of the disease is the vaccine. The body recognizes the antigen and produces antibodies against it, and this technique is called the vaccination or immunization. Through this process, it is now possible to be protected against a number of infectious diseases like tetanus, typhoid, polio, measles, hepatitis B, etc. A healthy person is actually surrounded by a number of bacteria on the skin and inside the body. There are certain types of bacteria which live in the intestine of human beings, and they help in the digestion, and they also help in destroying the harmful organisms which enter the digestive tract. So intestinal bacteria also produce some vitamins which are required by the human body. So in total they are beneficial to the human body. The bacteria Lactobacillus acidophilus. Lactobacillus acidophilus. This bacteria is present in the digestive tract of the human body, and it facilitates digestion, it synthesizes vitamins, and it also degrades the toxins if they are produced in the digestive tract. So in this way we have seen the role of bacteria or the role of microorganisms in the field of medicines. Thank you.